Hey everybody, out here today. It's like May 3rd, doing some light work. Give you a little history of New England from when I was a kid along with what I'm up to. Let's call it table making day. Here's something that I have. It's called Cot Beverage, Quality Beverage. And it says quality, and all that. And this was a New England soda too. Back in the day, a lot of, sodas were pretty much something that was what you'd call, in an area. You could go across the United States and get all sorts of different sodas. We called it tonic. And in Massachusetts, you said, let's go get some tonic. I stopped saying the word tonic when I joined the Army, and I went into the place and said, do you have any tonic? And they looked at me like I was like, what is tonic? Some people called it pop. Some people called it soda pop. But I quickly learned it was to call it soda. I don't know how good this is coming out, but you can see it says that it's from the Cot Beverage Corporation. And it's in New Haven, which is Connecticut, USA. And where I grew up in Massachusetts, we had a Cot distribution plant down at the depot where I lived. And next to that was the number one hangout store for all kids called Belmain's. If you've ever listened, if you're from the Weymouth area, you remember Belmain's. That place was the place, man. Me and my friends knew how to get into the Cot Beverage Distribution building. It had been at one time a Cadillac dealership, believe it or not, Walter Feely Cadillac. And then it became the Cot Distribution Center. Today, then it turned into a place called Axles. I can't remember, but they built hot rods in there, and for the drag strip. And I want to call it Axles, but I think I'm wrong, and I don't know what's there today. But me and my friends we had a secret way to get into the Cot place, and we'd steal lots of soda. And one of the beverages I remember was called Rudy Root Beer, and had a little bear, like not beer you drink, but the beer that, runs around the woods like Winnie the Pooh on those cans. And we had a way, you'd set up like a chain of people, like 8 guys, and you'd just run it. You had to go through another little building that was completely not part of the place, you could say anymore. Old restroom, and there was big holes in the floor. There was still a toilet in there, but no water run or anything. And we were small enough we could slip through the holes and go up into the Cot place and start, handing out 6-packs, and we'd sell that stuff to kids having parties. This is like when I was like 12, 13 years old, and it doesn't matter nowadays. They don't exist anymore, and that was so long ago. But yeah, we had a blast. We had a warehouse where we kept everything behind this friend of mine's house, this big garage type building, and we had it all up in it looked like a barn. We had it up in the top of the barn, all kinds of stuff. But this table here, I found it thrown out. These neighbors threw it out. As you can see, it got waterlogged, and they threw it out because this thing's kind of messed up. I'm going to basically give it a shrink wrap. And that shrink wrap, I think you're going to all love it. It's kind of like one of my nifty creations. And after you see what I did using spray glue and a certain type of wrap that will go on it, it's going to be just whiz-a-keen cool. So, all right, let's get to it and start shrinking the wrap. Those 2 big giant pallets I had, I cut them down, tore it all up. I'm gonna have one small pallet, and I'm making these, I guess you'd call them saw ponies. I'm making 2. Let's get over to the real project here. I'm getting ready to shrink wrap it, and that's going to be my nifty creation. And So let's get to it and shrink wrap this bad boy. Well, I didn't want to trouble you with making you all have to watch me cut stuff up and spray it and glue it down and all that. This is the shrink wrap, and these bags are really, really good, strong material because, I mean, let's face it, they carry that food. They don't want moisture ruining the food, and they want also, you know, the odor kept in there to not attract rodents. It's good stuff. It's strong. And if you're feeding, you know, if you're getting these bags for anything, you can do all sorts of stuff with them. Having said all that, I hope y'all like it. And, you know, I was calling it my Nifty creations. I think I'm going to rather call it my tacky creations, because it's tacked down, and it is kind of tacky, but I like it. Now, just a last stop on this Cott soda from New England back in the old days. Cott's motto back then was, if it's caught, they'd say, it was on television, and you'd see it in the stores, if it's caught, it's got to be good. And when I was a kid, two of my best friends, one of them's name was Jimmy Ott, as in Ott, and the other guy's name was Buddy Mott, with an M, as in Mott. And they used to say, you know, like girls would come around, and they'd say, if it's Mott, it's got to be good. And the other kid would say, if it's Ott, you know it's good. Whatever, I can't, you know, I'm getting confused now, but you get it. If it's Mott, it's got to be good, and if it's Ott, it's got to be good. And it always was good for a laugh back in the day, because, you know, everybody up there knew what it was. I'm talking about like 15, 14 years old, you know. But remember that. If it's Mott, it's got to be good. If it's caught, it's got to be good. If it's Ott, it's got to be good. And if it's Ponti Maniac, it's got to be tacky.